and welcome back to our NCAA football win total series. We stay in the AAC, and we are finally on to Navy. And Navy used to be a very good program. Paul Johnson took it over in 2002. 2003 got to a bowl game, and he would keep them going to bowl games through 2007 when he left. Ken Niumatalolo took over 3 bowl games in his first 3 years, 5-7 in 2011 and then 6 more bowl games. Finally, 2018's wheel fell off, 3-10, but they rebound great, 11-2 in 2019. But then 3-7, 4-8, 4-8. He's fired. Brian Newberry comes in for the 2023 season, and they start out with a loss in Ireland against Notre Dame. They go beat Wagner at home, and then they lose at Memphis in South Florida. Wins over North Texas and at Charlotte, but then lose against Air Force and at Temple. They knock off UAB and East Carolina, but again, another 2 losses. They lost at SMU and against Army in the final game of the year. It was a 5-7 season for Brian Newberry under his first year. And really, there's not a lot coming back, but there are still some parts. Obviously, the offensive line's huge. They do have a good amount of experience coming back. They aren't that big, but that year of experience is huge. At running back, Alex Tecza is back. He's a smaller fullback, but he's had 758 yards last year and 5 scores. Fullback Dalba Fafana is also back. He had 283 yards. Eli Hendrick, who's a receiver, can run, but not use a ton in the running game. Big question is who's going to be their quarterback. Blake Horvath looks to have the inside track. He was the backup last year. Braxton Woodson showed off a little bit better passing. It looks like it's going to be Horvath's job, but we will see. Navy does have some of their receivers and tight ends back, including Nathan Kent, but again, triple option offense not used very often. The defense, not great, but not bad. Navy needs more help at linebacker. Colin Ramos is a solid linebacker. He's back, but really he was the best linebacker last year, and there's not a lot helping him this year. They do bring back edge rusher Luke Paris. He led the team with 4.5 sacks last year and 10 tackles for a loss. They also have Landon Robinson and Kendall Whiteside inside. Pretty good run stuffers. The secondary should be solid this year. Corners are Deshaun Peel and Andrew Duarte. They're both back, and then they have Rahan Lane, who will be the safety. The defense shouldn't be bad, but the pass rush needs to improve this year. Leaving those corners on an island is just not going to work for them. The biggest thing is the offense has to be better. If the offense can't grow this year, they're not going to win a lot of games. And honestly, it's not that good of a schedule for them. They open August 31st against Bucknell. That should be a win. Then they get Temple at home. That should be a win. Then they have a bye. Then it's Memphis, at UAB, at Air Force before another bye. That could easily be 3 losses in a row. They get Charlotte at home. Should be a win. But then they have to play Notre Dame up in Landover, Maryland. That's going to be a loss. They're at Rice, at USF, and home against Tulane. They might get 1 win in there before a bye. Then they're at East Carolina before another bye, and then they face Army in East Rutherford. And when I look at the schedule, the front half is definitely a lot more friendly. I think they'll get Bucknell. I think they'll get Temple. They'll get Charlotte. That's 3 wins. And the question is, do they get a win in the back half? Really, I think their best chance is at Rice. When we look at the win total, it's sitting at 4.5. For them to beat that and get to 5 games, really, I think they're going to have to upset Rice or USF on the road, or even UAB, and then at least get one of the 2 commander-in-chief games between Air Force and Army. This year, though, really, if you look at Air Force and Army, they're both better than Navy. So for them to get to 5 wins, it's going to be very difficult. So we're going to go ahead and take that under in 4.5. The best line out there is at -140, sitting at MGM right now. So that's going to be our pick for Navy, under 4.5 wins in a rough year for Navy. If you like this content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. Share us with your friends, and we'll see you next time.